us. And now, say what's up to the tube. Say what up, tube.
What up, tube?
What up, tube? All right, we have checked the audio. There should be no echo. We have checked our connection. There should be no lagging. We have scanned all of the audio devices. There should be no hesitation. All right, you all ready to rock and roll?
Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? We on Tuesday, right?
We on Monday.
Oh, dang. It's
I
Monday.
literally did the same thing today, dude. Like, I'm putting out stories, and I'm like, Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Nope, it's
And somebody
Monday.
called me back, and somebody messaged me like, no, man, it's Monday.
All right,
I
well.
wish it was Tuesday, but it's Monday.
Happy Monday, y'all. Hernan
Happy
CS
Monday.
here, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host.
The insurance bro, James CS with Pipeline Insurance. And as always, we have an awesome, amazing, fun-filled show for you. You
Getting that movie voice ready, huh?
Getting the movie voice ready.
All right, go
Because we're
for
going to do our commercials just a little bit differently today. All right, but check this out. I put my comment on your biz. When I dip, you dip, we dip. What? Today's special guest is bringing us an entirely new way to review the businesses we love. Forget Yelp. It's time to dip. Learn more about this up-and-coming social media review app. From Dip Social, please welcome Romel Romero.
How's it going, everybody?
What's going on, my man? Welcome to the show.
Dude, you want to
Thanks for
know
having me.
what's trippy, Romel? He gives these pop sockets for dip, and I kept looking at it thinking it was upside down. But it doesn't matter which side you look at it. It works both ways. I'm just the
It
idiot
works
by
both
myself.
ways.
You guys notice the pin drop?
It was the pin drop, yeah. And I noticed it on.
Yeah.
I noticed it on your shirt. Yeah.
Boom.
So that kind of goes with like locations.
Yeah.
Pin drop.
No, it's a great logo. It's a great logo. All right, ladies and gents, before we get into Dip Social, 365 pairs of shoes is what we're shooting for. So if you got new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or James at csfirst.com. Romel brought a big old bag of shoes, so we're no longer at 265. I have no idea how many we're at now, but there's a grip in there, so we got to make a count, and then we're going to see how many we're at. But that means we're way less than 100 pairs to go. So if you guys got new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash. Also, Jamar Williams sent us a Venmo.
A $50 Venmo card, yep.
So we got to buy some shoes
Thank
for
you
that.
So,
So definitely that count is getting closer to 365 as we reach the end of the year. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
James, by the way, also does insurance. So if you need homeowners, auto, commercial, life, whatever it is you need, or maybe you want to add insurance into your business. Maybe you got a tax office or a mortgage company, something like that. You want to increase your bottom line, take advantage of the clients that you already have on the books. Maybe you need to add an insurance department. Hit James up 619-884-0045 or James at csfirst.com. Sun is shining even though it's getting colder in the morning. Still take advantage of the sun. DroneQuote.net/business bros is the way to go. Get your solar done. Look, they don't install a solar themselves, but they're making it easier for you to buy solar. They'll send over a drone and it'll measure your rooftop, send the quotes out to the roofing companies and the solar companies. You sit back and look at all the quotes from all the major solar companies, decide which one works for you, pick it and get going. DroneQuote.net/business bros. Drop that energy bill down. You don't need to be paying such high fees for running your AC. All right, DroneQuote.net/business bros.
And Lizzie Lee says that she has a box in her office. I think she's talking about a box of shoes. So I might have to take a swing out to
NorCal?
North
County.
North County.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Northern
far you-
California. I'm
Hey,
sending you 8 hours up.
hey now.
Shout
All
out
right.
to Lizzie. She put together a mastermind. I wasn't able to make it because it was a little bit earlier in the day, but thanks, Lizzie, for the shoes and for the mastermind.
I know Lizzie.
And
Hey, Lizzie.
Romelo's Lizzie.
Nice.
All right, let's get into this. You ready?
There you go. He's ready. We're ready.
All right, Romel. So prior to the show, we talked about a few things. Found out you're about my age. So tell me, how does somebody my age, roughly, who grew up playing outside, not really on the internet, we were the AOL, we were those kind of kids, right? Who experienced that internet. Now you're running this. How did you get into this? What happened here? Where did your life take you to get you here?
You know what? I think it all started with an imagination. You know, I think our generation is like the last generation who had an imagination, who kind of like thought out of the box.
There was no box to think out of, right?
Yeah, there was no box. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you know, the thing about the thing that kind of got me to coming up with this idea was being in line in Disneyland like ages ago. or being at a amusement park age, like
where you have time to think and do nothing.
oh no, well, I had time to think and wait in line.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so just like Six Flags or like Disneyland, like you would wait in these 2-hour lines, and I kind of thought about it. I was like, you know what, wouldn't it be cool to kind of like ask the person in front of the line, like, hey, how long did you really wait? Or before you even head to the certain ride, you could ask people there, hey, like how long was the wait over there?
Was it even worth it?
That was what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hate waiting in lines, dude.
Dude, same here. I've been patient. That's why I created what I created, and I don't like to wait in lines at restaurants. I don't, I kind of want to know before I go.
Yeah.
That's how it all just kind of came to be.
I don't mind waiting in line if I'm intending to. Like, if I know ahead of time that I'm going to go do this thing and it requires me to stand for like 45 minutes. Right? Like, okay, like I'm making plans to do that, right?
Yeah.
But to show up and expect to, like, especially if I'm starving, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to go to a restaurant and I'm like, dude, I'm going to go, I'm going to sit down, have a meal, but I got to wait 2 hours, my stomach's going to get really pissed off.
Yeah. You know, it's strange. Like, I am impatient when it comes to waiting in line or going to a restaurant. But if I really want to go there, like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm pacing like left to right, doing like a 1-2 step.
Yeah.
Looking around like I'm antsy, but still, I'll still wait.
Of course, because supposedly it's that good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't go to the restaurant that has no line. That one might not be so good. We go to the restaurant that has a line.
Yeah.
I just want to know how long that line's going to be.
Or how good the food is.
Or how good the food is.
Yeah.
All right, so you thought of this idea while in line at Disneyland. And then what? It just like appeared or?
No. It took a couple of years. It took a couple of years of actually building up the courage to actually do it. It actually just started out of nowhere. I was in the car club with a Honda S2000.
Nice, S2000.
One of the guys I met, his name is Mitch Lowenberg. He had an S2000 also, and he was just finishing up his MBA. And he's younger than me. He's about 26. But he had a lot of motivation behind him. He always wanted to start his own business. And me and him just got to talking. And then he was like, you know what? When he was going through his MBA program, one of his close friends was a engineering manager at Qualcomm. He goes, let me talk to him. And then he connected us with a couple developers abroad in India.
Yeah.
And of course, with me, I'm like, well, developers abroad, I would trust my own people.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I don't even know this guy.
I don't know this guy.
To deal with somebody across the
He's
country. I mean, on the other side of the world.
Yeah, he's probably take my money and just run.
Yeah.
But luckily, we got lucky. He was a great developer. He had an awesome team, and he's still with us till today. And he accomplished what we wanted, and he was able to publish an app for us on both platforms.
Nice.
Yeah, so we were really lucky.
So tell me about that process. I mean, I've thought of developing an app or putting something together, right? But like, you really have to think through a lot of the intricacies of what people are going to do on this app, right?
Yeah.
Like, you think it's pretty simple. Like, you know what? I want an app to, show me how to get from my house to the movie theater, right? Like the maps. Well, what about traffic? What about, changing in construction? What about, like all these different things start popping into your head. How do you ever get it done? Like,
the thing about applications or what I've learned in being, in I guess the tech field now, especially having my own app, is we're always evolving. I may have, like I said, I may have had my reasons for starting this application, but it just continuously grows. The more and more you kind of think about your application, and what you're hearing about what other people are saying, the more and more uses the app has. So, it's a never-ending growth. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it kind of does. I mean, because a lot of people try to get to perfection, and in striving for perfection, you never actually get to done. Nothing goes public, nothing goes published, nothing gets completed because you're always striving for that perfection.
Yeah.
So at some point, like, understanding that it's the never-ending process, things are always going to change, gets you to at least to the point where now it's a thing.
Yeah. That's one thing I had to learn, because I'm not a developer, I'm not an engineer, but I had to learn that from my developers. I had to realize that there's no such thing as perfect when it comes to technology. There's always going to be bugs, there's always going to be issues, and all these things are going to take time. So if they created a perfect app, there's no room to grow. How could
You're stuck.
We're stuck. And when you have a company or when you have a startup, it's about growing. It's and that's what's needed.
So walk me through what your vision was, where you're at, and where do you plan on going? Like, you started off with a concept and idea, and then it kind of morphed into something a little bit different. Like, tell me a little bit about that process.
Well, it did start off with the concept, just like anything. Could you repeat that again?
Yeah.
Memory blank.
No
when you're just stuck in the moment.
That happens to me.
And I was about to answer
more often than you know, dude.
Blanks out.
There's sometimes I'll be on pace and I'll have this great point that I'm trying to make, and then I forgot what my initial question was. So it happens. No, I just wanted to know like where you evolved. Like what I want to get to is where you're going with this, right? Okay. So let's talk about like where you're at today. Like where did you started off with a concept? How did you get to where you're at today?
Well. How I got to where I am today, honestly, I don't even know where I'm at. When people ask me, hey, what do you do or what are you doing? I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I take every day by day. But where I'm at right now is from where we started back in 2018, which were just wireframes. We're at the point where we're out of beta. We are confident in our product. But where we're at today is trying to build our community. We're trying to build awareness. We're trying to build growth. We're trying to get users. We want to make our application relevant.
In that case, where can people find Dip Social so that they can be part of the community?
Our application is currently available on iOS and Google Play, so we're on both platforms.
Well, tell me describe to me a little bit how it works. So if somebody's interested in checking out Dip Social, what are they using it specifically for? What are the benefits to using it versus Yelp, for example?
That's the beauty of it. Talking about Yelp, I don't see my application as a competitor to Yelp. Don't get me wrong, Yelp is a great product. It wouldn't do as well, even though there's a lot of controversy with it today as it is. I look at my app as something you could use in combination. A lot of Instagram users use Snapchat and Facebook. There's nothing really out there that people use in combination with Yelp. Yelp, you could get hopefully current and past reviews, but with my application, you get the real-time communication at the establishment via Chatroom. All right.
So while I'm there, I could be on Dip talking about my experience.
Yeah.
So talking about the awesome service my waiter's providing, for example, or the meal that's coming like ahead of schedule, or whatever it is that you're experiencing at this particular venue, or how.
So when we go to like Casanova Tacos, or when we go to Las Pinches Tortas, or any of our friends out there, we can talk about their restaurant real time with everybody else that's there.
Say the beauty about my application, it's where we believe it fixes a problem. It helps with communication between the establishment to customers and customers to customers. So
does it sync up with other social medias too?
Not at the moment. No. We're kind of on the fence if we want to have like a Facebook login or something like that, but we're keeping it real and we're sticking just to emails. So.
Emails work.
Yeah.
I like that though, because when you have that kind of a community, you do get people having those conversations like, oh, you got to try these tacos, or you got to try this milkshake, and everybody can kind of have that going on at the same time.
If you really think about it, what I did is I created a product that's something that's a little old school, like our time, and something that's current. So we're taking Yelp and we're getting AOL.com and we're just putting it together.
It's a chat room. That's what it is, right? It's a chat room.
Yeah.
It's a chat room.
Yeah.
That's where everybody, I mean, think you want to go even further back. You remember doing phone call chat rooms?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that's the same type of concept. You want to have that communication with somebody. I like the fact that you get to talk about what's going on like at that place. Like James said, like you can talk about a specific meal or specific thing, an experience that you're having when you're, things like haunted trails, for example, pops into my head. Like people want to share that sort of experience right then and there. Like, hey, where are you at? Come to this particular spot or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah. That's the beauty about a chat room. It's universal. We really don't know how we're going to use it. I may have my reasons for using it on a Monday, and it may change on a Friday.
Right.
You know what I mean?
With the venue
with the venue, yeah. So when it comes to usage of the app, like I said, I might use it because I'm impatient. But then for foodies, they could do a live blog food reviews. Restaurant owners, they could see what people are talking about within the chat room and make adjustments right away. If people are saying, "Oh my God, it's too salty" or whatever. So you could remain anonymous in the chat room. And also for business owners, it gives them a tool to communicate to their customers in the mass than having to do the whole following or DMs or private messages.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, stuff's going on in my mind, like things like, happy hour promos, right? Imagine everybody's in the house and you're like, hey, for the next 5 minutes, if you order this, blah, 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 like, you get it at 50% off or whatever it is. I mean, just imagine the increase in sales that manager can get on that night on a particular item that's might be not pushing as well or whatever, just to move the needle a little bit because people are interacting on this thing.
Business owners could, post an ad just via chat room, like in the chat room, just like that. They have a special just like that, or people are in their chat room.
So where do you see it like going in the future? Are you mostly thinking I'm going to spend my time setting this awareness up with the end consumer, or are you thinking you're going to spend most of your time orienting it with business owners, like B2B?
That's a good question. I get asked that question a lot, especially with marketing. They go, hey, why don't you focus on the business, or why don't you focus on the community? It kind of goes with what comes first, the chicken or the egg. Will the business use it if the community isn't using it? I believe that I had to build my community in order for the business to jump on board. I talk to a lot of business owners, especially restaurant owners, and I go, they always tell me, oh, I really have no time to go on social media, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they do. Their Yelp reviews, they do take the time out to look at that. They do take
and those
the time
are very
out to look at
reactive.
Instagram. Yeah. So right now, our focus is the community, and I think the community is what matters.
If you hit the people, if the people use it, the restaurants will use it.
Yeah. If you build it, they will come.
They will.
Hopefully.
How long has it been out?
We published on iOS in the end of August 2018, and on Google Play in December.
And how have you guys been doing so far?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a struggle. Putting awareness out there and building our community. But we have a small group that's supporting us. So
that's good. That's good. I mean, getting anything started is tough.
Yeah.
Like this is the type of thing where. What was that?
We interrupt today's regularly scheduled podcast for a purely selfish, irreverent, cash-grabbing word from our sponsor. Hernan, what are we selling today?
Ooh, you guys like that, huh? That was a cool way we're going to do promo spots.
We're switching things up a little bit.
We're switching things up, making it fun. Ladies and gentlemen, dronecode.net/business bros is where you need to go. Just take advantage of that sun. Why are you wasting so much money paying high electricity bills when the sun is there giving you free power? Take advantage of it. dronecode.net/business bros. They don't install. They just help you with the buying process. So take a drone. It'll take measurements of your rooftops. Send it to solar companies. Send it to roofing companies. You sit back, get all the quotes of the companies. Pick the one that works for you. And then, boom, you have solar. Now your cost for power goes way down. By the way, these time spots that we're going to be doing with these commercials are going to turn into some fun stuff. So those of you who watch the live feed are going to start getting opportunities to win some free stuff. I don't know, Starbucks gift cards, Amazon stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So thank you for watching live. We really appreciate it. Romel is the very first guest who gets to go through the... What'd you think?
Yeah, it caught me off guard.
Right? It scared the crap out of me too, dude. Don't worry.
I just wanted to have a little fun with it.
I was kind of like, okay, excuse me?
Okay, excuse me?
You guys say excuse me?
Yeah. I love it.
I was on a roll.
Well, you know what's funny is we were talking awareness. That brought a lot of awareness. What the hell was that? Can you imagine like people listening like on the podcast and the audio? They're in their car and they're gonna be like, oh shit. Two hands on the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Two hands on the wheel.
All right, ladies and gents.
Let's get back to the awareness conversation. So what types of stuff are you currently doing to try to bring awareness right now?
Well, recently we sponsored the San Diego Night Market. That was San Diego's biggest night market. So we were actually one of the main sponsors. So that was our first awareness campaign. Like we were everywhere. It was awesome how much they helped us. They had our banners everywhere. They posted a lot on social media. And those are the kinds of things that we're doing. But right now, my focus is both doing the awareness and also help in building our community by doing events that would help us get more installs and usernames.
So let me ask you this: like, if I'm a business, if I'm a retail business or whatever, and I want to be a part of this, do I have to sign up too, or are like businesses already there by address? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we're using a Google API.
Okay.
So everything that's under Google's API in their address book, we have. So, if Google has it, you're on it.
You're on it already.
Yeah.
You didn't even know it. You're on it.
Yeah,
already.
you don't even know it. You're on it.
Because I was thinking, like, if you did like a farmer's market type thing, right, and you were able to create little like a map of the booths, like, and then sponsor an event and just make it like giveaways that we'll be giving away on the platform, you might get more users to use initially, at least to sign up.
Yeah.
And it'll be very micro market for that particular event. Maybe it's like a farmer's market or whatever, or like every year I like to do like a beer festival in Mission Valley, and like, I mean, every single booth there for the different vendors. But if you could do it in a micro market, you might be able to get people on there using it and get a taste, right? It's one of those things that once you try it, you're going to have fun with it. But if you don't try it, you don't know it ever existed. It's like, like my father-in-law started a Facebook account yesterday, or like the day before yesterday.
Finally,
right? But again, if you don't taste it, you're never going to try it, that sort of thing. So is that a capability that exists, do you think?
Yeah. That is a great idea. And that's what we kind of did at the San Diego Night Market. That was our first taste of having a lot of users in the chat room. And if you ever were to go on the app and you were to type in San Diego Night Market, you could see how they used it. But then it kind of goes in a way what you're talking about. Getting people to install the app and using it. And we were giving out like giveaways too, like you were talking about, for people to download it and use the app during the event. So.
And maybe you can have the vendors at the event sponsor something that they give away. Boom, this is going to give away, and then they get the plug while using the app, so they can see the real time reaction. Yeah. And at the same time, you're getting more users. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ways that you can do it.
Yeah, there's many ways of marketing an app, but the thing is that the adoption. Are they still going to use it after they used it once? What's going to make them continue to use the app? And that's why we created the leaderboard. I'm not too sure if you guys saw the leaderboard.
No.
We realized that people like achievements. Users like achievements.
We do.
So the more use of the app, you get an avatar on the leaderboard. So we call them dipsticles.
Dipsticles.
They're like popsicles, but we made certain characters with them. The more and more you use the app, the more the levels you attain, and you get a new dipsticle with a new outfit or a new name.
That's cool.
And so with this, we're trying to keep the users interested. And future plans are to do something like what Yelp does, like the Yelp Elite. The more and more they review, they get invited to these Yelp Elite parties. But we want to do dip parties. But we want our point system to reset every month, because we want people to be able to attain that achievement every month.
In these chat rooms, can you do like videos and stuff like that?
Yeah, videos and photos.
Because maybe and is there like, do you have to be 18 to be on the app? Type thing?
It's over 13.
Over 13?
Yeah.
I was like, because if you can hit it, I'm thinking, who has the electronic device at a restaurant most times, right? It's the kid.
Yeah.
Right? You want to get the kid, shut up, stop talking, like don't jump around, don't climb on seats, right? Here's your thing. It'd be kind of cool to have them interact with other kids in the place. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now it's like, it's a great event. Now they want to go to a restaurant. And if you get the kids interacting on the social feed, they can do videos, they can do little stuff, and they'll look forward to it, unlocking achievements. Yeah. Way more than the adults do. And of course, if you infect the kid, right, the kid's always going to want to go out to eat, and that's going to influence the purchaser's decision, the buying decision, right? Mom's always going to go somewhere because daughter or son saying, let's go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. They're going to want to go. And now they're doing something that's interactive because parents are always talking about how they're not social with people.
Yeah.
Well, I have a hard time. When I was a kid, when we were kids, we played outside with the neighbor kids.
Yeah.
Play football on the street, whatever. There's nobody in the street these days.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the very least, this is something where you're at a particular place and now you're interacting with the other kids in the area.
Yeah. I hate to say it. You are right. Kids these days they're extremely antisocial. Yeah, they didn't interact like how we did growing up. But it kind of goes with technology. Are we going to go back in technology?
No, we're going forward.
We're going forward.
And it's not that they're antisocial. They're not antisocial.
Yeah.
They're more social than we ever were.
Yeah.
They're just not social on a face-to-face.
Face-to-face, yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
The only difference is they're not sitting there talking to you in person, but they're talking to hundreds and people every single day.
Yeah.
They're posting stuff all the time.
I guess with social skills, like you said, face to face. That's where things are changing.
Well, the reason why I started going with the kids is the TikTok popped into my head, right?
Yeah.
TikTok is one of those things where my daughter's been on TikTok since it was Musically, right? And she was like 5 years old, 6 years old, whatever. She's like, oh, I like this thing, and she's been doing that for a while. And so now TikTok is starting to be more mainstream.
Yeah.
Right? But it started off with the kids involved. And that's why I'm kind of thinking this is something that can be interacted where the kids are involved and it just kind of ages up slowly.
Yeah. That could be the case. We really don't know until we build our community and see how people are using it. Right now our focus are the foodies.
Yeah.
Our first filter that pops up are restaurants. So if that doesn't work, we'll try to target the teens and hopefully it'll catch on with them, and then we could grow from there.
And I'm thinking of teens, even if it's somewhere I don't know, I can think of a teenager because I teach high school, right? They don't have a grip of money, but they always want to know kind of what's going on too. And if they're socially interacting with people on that network with what's going on within the restaurant, they might be able to get the hookup. They're like, dude, we got to go here because it's, I don't know, $1 corn dogs or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But, just thinking of something to get more flow into that area.
Yeah.
Because adults, we're like old dogs, dude. Trying to teach us a new trick is tough.
That's true.
But you get people using it that are young. All of a sudden, they're like, look, I made friends. They're over there at table 27 or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now you have this interaction.
Now that you talk about it, we are sponsoring an event for Alpha Psi Rho. They're a fraternity at San Diego State, and with them, the way they're trying to market Dip Social is they're trying to get the installs with the college crowd, and they're trying to build exposure for the application so it'll hopefully be relevant within the colleges that they have
At that next age group.
Well, colleges that have that organization there. So
I like that. I like that because it's going to be tough to definitely buy into, just jumping into the whole social media stream. That is tough.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It is not easy.
It's I hear it all the time. With Dip Social, we're heading into to a realm that's difficult to I guess become successful for the app to grow. It is a very competitive market. But here's the thing: is that there isn't any established based chat rooms out on any app store. There's location based chat rooms that are specific to individuals who have the app, who are in the proximity around you, but nothing that's mainly for an establishment. So that's kind of, maybe we have a one up on that.
I agree. There's something there. Again, it's going to come down to user ability and users trying to get on to download a new app to use. They have their choice. They open up their home screen. There's a lot of apps on there. Why choose this particular one? Yeah. But I think if you can integrate it with a younger age group and then age up, and if you can make it an incentive for businesses to promote what's going on this particular app, then they're going to benefit. And I think getting them involved and then aging up people, I think it's going to work out in your favor. Maybe even. I'm thinking how does it benefit a parent to have a kid on there? Like who's around? Who's gonna be social? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. You definitely got your hands full with this one.
Yeah. It's not easy. There's a lot of kind of like sitting by yourself and just thinking.
Yeah.
And
Tons.
And I think the difficult thing about entrepreneurship is two things: keeping it together, and the question in your mind of what's next.
Always. Well, tell me a little bit about keeping it together. Mm-hmm. Keeping it together is something that a lot of people are going to struggle with, right? Mm-hmm. They've been in business. I mean, the statistic is something like 1 out of 10 businesses will fail in that first year. And the ones that make it, 1 out of 10 of those will fail in the next 5. Yeah. Right? So, and the number one reason
9 out of 10.
Make
but
it.
Yeah.
Did I say make it?
Fail.
I don't know. Fail. Sorry.
But anyway.
9 out of 10. Most of them fail, right? Oh, 70% of statistics are made up. No, but so going through that struggle, deciding, okay, I'm going to get up and continue to do it. That's a problem in itself, right?
Oh yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like when you come across a time where you're like, I'm done. Like this is it. I'm over it. I don't want to do this anymore. And then you kind of like push through and you're like, no, I'm going to keep going.
You know what? Like I think it all comes from your family foundation. I'm the youngest out of 3 older sisters. My sisters are 8, 9, and 11 years apart from me. And if you don't have that support, I don't know how I would do it. I got very supportive parents also, especially being Filipino. Doing something like this is definitely out of the norm.
You didn't become a doctor?
I didn't become a doctor, yeah.
Right? What's wrong with you? You didn't become a nurse.
Yeah.
You didn't join the Navy?
I didn't join the Navy. I didn't become a postman. But it's really, especially being the youngest of the family, what drives me is seeing how hard your siblings have done in life. Mm-hmm. You want to be just successful as they are. And of course, I hear the stories all the time, like, oh my gosh, entrepreneurs fail 3 or 4 or 5 or even 11 times before they actually succeeded. But I hear all those stats, but why can't it be your first time, your first try? There's those people who it was their first entrepreneurship and then they did well.
Boom.
Here's the story. When I moved here in '95, my father retired from the Navy. It was our first time like living in the United States. We were all watching an infomercial, and we were watching, there was this guy on TV. He was dressed up as a chef, and he was a like pretty wide guy, and he had a chef hat and everything. And he was selling something called the Brown and Crisp. I don't know if you guys remember the Brown
and Crisp.
Yeah,
probably not. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah. So it's like this bag. You could put anything in it. You wrap up the top. You throw it in the microwave, and then voila, gourmet rotisserie chicken. You know what I mean? And then here's me and my mom and my sisters, my dad. We're like, oh my god, that's amazing. I could put a whole chicken in there and voila, rotisserie, and I think my mom bought like 1,000 bags. My mom's like, you know what, this would be great for you, Anak, because when we're all at work, when you get home from school, you can put whatever in the bag and there's your lunch, So I remember when we got it in the mail, we were all like, let's go big. Let's put a chicken in here for first try. And I remember my dad, they see this in chicken and they put it in the bag, threw it in the microwave, and we went by the directions. They're like, okay, we'll put it in there for it was like an hour and something, or I could be wrong. But my dad ended up putting it in the microwave for like a couple hours. And still, like, when it came out, like, it was like, oh, I don't want to eat that.
Raw.
That was like nasty. we realized the only thing you could cook in it is bacon, but you could cook bacon, anything like, in the microwave. Like, it turns out fine. But then, when it comes back to, like, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, like, like, if you have the drive and you have the, like, passion, even if it's a stupid idea, it may work. There's so many things out there that are just ridiculous. Like,
Clap on.
Like, come on. Like, really? Like, even though that was short-lived, it still did really well.
Yeah.
But, in my mind, you just got to be like Charlie the Choo-Choo Train. You just got to keep on going. Like, you got to go to the end. Like, even though I'm probably not going to make, like, Facebook money, but if I end up doing okay, that's a success. But then, of course, in the back of your mind, there's failure, but you can't let that get to you.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And we always talk about that. I'm a big Gary Vee fan, and one of the things he promotes, it's part of my own why is that happiness factor, right? I mean, if you're doing what you love, you make $40,000 a year, but you wake up every single day doing what you love, that's a success. You don't need to make, $500,000 a year and hate every single day of your life. Like that's the wrong metric.
The thing about it is that this is stressful. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a very stressful world I'm in. But then it is enjoyable. Like, hell, I'm freaking doing a podcast. I've never done one of these in my life. But is it fun? Yeah. But do I know what I'm doing on here? No.
Well, you're speaking into the mic, so that works.
I mean, like what's next? What are we gonna talk about next? I have no idea. But when you, I believe when you go into entrepreneurship, you just got to go in, you just got to dive in. I talk to a lot of people who have great ideas, but I believe a lot of people get stuck in an idea phase. You just get stuck there. They do so much research and they want to play it safe that it just never happens. I think if you do too much research, you get stuck because it kind of prevents you from moving forward because maybe a little bit of fear comes into play. With me, I guess I'm just a different animal. I just go in it, even if how many marketing strategies or marketing events that we do that end up fail, dude, you learn from it. You just got to keep on going. What if the next one turns out to be great? So
I admire the execution part. I tell my students all the time, look, you guys have a ton of ideas. You talk a lot of game. What almost all of you lack is execution. Right? Yeah. I mean, anybody can have an idea. They get stuck in the idea phase, like you said, paralysis of analysis, right? You never actually do anything. You're trying to get things perfect before you actually take action. You're thinking about maybe someday in the future doing something, maybe. Right, but very few people take action, and then the ones that do, if you're persistent, like you said, it may not be Facebook money, but it's going to be something that you're going to develop, and it might not be what it is today, right? It might turn into a little bit something else. You're getting feedback, you're learning, and it morphs, and it becomes something that becomes users really want to do, because that's ultimately what you're looking for. You're looking for, try it, give me some feedback, help me improve this.
Who knows? This app might turn out to be just a dating app.
Yeah, you know. but you're learning.
We're learning.
But you're learning and continuing to move forward, right? And so, I commend the execution for that.
Yeah, like I said, in my mind, I just gotta say, like, you just gotta keep on going. It's funny. I don't know if this will make sense, but my weight would always fluctuate when I was a kid growing up. I'd be big, like a couple of years, and I'll lose weight. Like when it comes to keep on trying to hit a goal, when you start a diet, like you just got to keep on going, and then you see the results at the end.
You got to make a lifestyle change.
Make a lifestyle change. This is the same thing when it comes to this. Is you got to make a lifestyle change. You gotta do things that are out of the ordinary. Just to see where it goes. I go by the saying I want to see what happens if I don't give up. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I want to see what happens if I don't give up.
I just wanted to say, I appreciate what you were saying earlier. When you feel like you don't know what you're doing, they call that imposter syndrome, right? Where you, and I swear to God, I feel that so often in my business too. Always looking out for everybody, hey, am I doing all right? Am I doing all right? Am I doing all right? Am I doing? But I think you're doing all right. I think we're doing all right. And I was actually going to recommend, I think Melina talks a little bit about that in the Brainy Biz podcast. So if you ever check out the Brainy Business, there's some information for you there. I think you'd find valuable. Yeah.
Well, one thing about doing this also is I kind of relate history to entrepreneurship or mentorship. I don't know if that makes any sense. The thing about history is there's really no truth behind it. There's always two sides to a story, and you kind of gather up what you learned from all these authors or all these historians. You kind of come up with your own perspective of what you want to believe. Yeah, I think that kind of goes into mentorship and hearing other people's success stories. I go by it may have worked for you, but it may not work for me. But I'm gonna get a little bit of this from you and a little bit of this from that person, and just kind of put it all in a bowl and see where it goes and make it my own. So it's just.
I like that. Two sides of it. I actually say there's three sides to every story. Yeah. Like my kids come up to me and they're fighting. I'm like, well, There's his side. There's her side.
Yeah.
And then there's what really happened.
Which is somewhere in the middle.
Which is somewhere in the middle, right? You
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
kind of decipher that. And that's, I think, exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
It's, you know, there's this perspective, there's this perspective, there's this piece of information, that piece of information.
Yeah.
You know what? Those are all great. I'm going to take a little bit from here, a little bit from
Yeah.
here. And guess what? Voila. I got
Yeah.
my own thing.
Dude, at the end of the day, it's all a gamble. You know,
Always.
we could market as much as we want, try to build a community, put so much funding into marketing, but it really depends. Is it going to catch on or not?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know, it's just this is the biggest stake, you know, anyone could actually take. So
Well,
we
kudos
just
to
have
you. I want to do one last thing here.
Mhm.
We're going to do Ask the Bros, right? So what I'm going to do is have you look at this camera here first. Tell people how to get a hold of you, how to get on the app, how to get a hold of you if they have any questions, that sort of stuff.
Well, how's it going? If you guys want to download the app, just type in Dip Social on Apple App Store or Google Play Store. If you want more information about our application, just look up dipsocial.com. You can find us on Instagram on Dip Social app or on Facebook on just type in Dip Social. If you want to email me, if you guys want to work with me, my email is romel.romero@dipsocial.com.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to do Ask the Bros.
Mhm.
So you get to ask us a question. But while you think of a question, I'm going to let our viewers know 365 pairs of shoes, ladies and gents. We're less than 100 away. So if you got new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. And of course, drumco.net/business bros. Go there, get your solar done now. You've been thinking about it, you've been pondering. Maybe you got a Tesla, maybe your AC bill is really high. drumco.net/business bros. They'll give you a list of different quotes, make the buying process super easy for you. And then you can get that Tesla charged, no problem. AC running, no problem. And we just build the sun. The sun's out there all day anyways. Might as well put them to work for you. James does insurance, pipelineinsurance.com or james@csfirst.com, 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. All your insurance needs. Maybe you can add insurance into your particular business. Insurance. I think I've said it enough times, right?
Insurance?
That's
hey,
all
what's
you
that
need.
behind your head?
Insurance. MikeRuss.org if you're interested in getting any professional license. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Ask away.
Ask the bros.
All right, this might be kind of funny, but I brought you guys shoes. But what's the deal with the shoes? Like, where does it go after this?
So the shoes.
The shoes. Well, okay. So it started with a walk that I was taking one morning out in Balboa Park, just with my dog. No big deal. It was coming up on a year ago. It was probably like in November or something. No, it was 2019, wasn't it?
2019.
So maybe it was like January, February. Anyway, it was cold out. That's the point. And I passed by this homeless woman who didn't have shoes, and she was just standing there crying. And I lived 2 blocks from Balboa Park. She probably lived in Balboa Park, but I didn't know what else to do. She was just sitting there crying, and she didn't have no shoes. So I gave her my shoes, and she walked away happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that kind of inspired me, and I said, you know what? I think I want to get shoes for the homeless, and so we've been collecting shoes ever since.
Wow. Yeah. You know, I believe like with any like what you guys are doing, if you're trying to do something that's huge, like your guys' business and your podcast, that we have the right to do something to give back. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's an obligation almost, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's an opportunity, and I hate to use the word obligation when it comes to this, but it is an opportunity, and if we don't take advantage of it, I mean,
You got to be super selfish, dude.
yeah, pretty much.
I actually feel it feels good when you give, right? It feels good when you help people. It feels good when you help people achieve what they want to achieve.
Yep.
And let's be honest, if you do that enough, you will be successful in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? That's really what it comes down to. So you got to be super selfish. You just do it because you know that by helping other people, you're going to get what you want.
Hang on,
Like, if
actually,
you're-
will you grab that up there?
The Dad's personal integrity.
Yeah,
thing?
the pie.
Hey, you want to read that?
Yeah, here, hand it over. So this is the personal integrity creed. My dad wrote this, has been working on this pretty much all his life. And I'm just going to read this one part of it right here. And this is not the updated one, but the essence of personal integrity is the total orientation of one's life toward a goal, and that goal must be of self-discipline, self-improvement, and an abiding spirit of selflessness. Like, this is our pops. Mm-hmm. And this is, we haven't updated this version. He's worked on it even more since this time. But this is what guides us. This is part of what the principles that guide us and make us who we are, is, this abiding spirit of selflessness. If we're not out here doing something for the community, then we're just selfish pieces of crap, and we don't deserve to be on this platform talking to everybody and having the audience that we do.
One thing, like that was from your father. Like, it's amazing. Like, having a really supportive father, and like hearing his advice, it really gives you that 100% push that you need.
Yeah.
It inspires you, makes you think more, I guess, about the reason why you're doing it. I hope that makes any sense.
No, absolutely does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of, it defines you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, now oh, that's why that's why I think like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I should be doing it. And after a while, it just becomes your core.
Yeah.
It's who you are.
And people always think entrepreneurship's about, wealth or being successful. There's a huge story behind it.
Always.
There's more we want to do.
My saying is your purpose in business is to be of service to others, but your business's purpose is to make a profit. Yeah. And I think people often take those and make them the same thing. If you have a business, it's all about profit. And yes, your business's purpose, if you have a business, its job is to make a profit.
Yeah.
But your purpose in business is to be of service to others. And so, as long as you understand that and you can distinguish between the two, you're in a positive track. If all you're doing is going after the dollars, then eventually you start to come into some ethical stuff, and you start, cutting corners and cheating people, and you'll get the dollars, but you're not being of service to others, and it's not a long play.
There's no such thing as fast money.
There is. It just doesn't last.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't last. So, and that's a big difference. You're trying to build a long-term game here, right? So
if you want to get rich fast,
get rich slow.
That's it.
That's how we do it.
That's a better one.
All right, ladies and gents. Romel, thanks for being on the program, man.
Thanks for having
me, guys.
It. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gents. Stay positive. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
I like the way you dropped that in there. That was good. Peace, Facebook. Have a good one.
That was it. You can be on.